Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War here on a Friday. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. Great to be back here. Great to recap, a sweet little USA win from last night. And obviously, it's Friday. Fitted Hat Friday, specifically, Brian.
Or no hat.
Or no hat at
Friday,
all. There we go, dude.
What side of the studio you're on.
That is true, dude. And yeah, so stoked for the weekend. Going to be some great hockey this weekend for sure. And I mean, spring training around the corner. I mean, what is there not to be hyped for, dude?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, though, I think it's just virtue of, the whole Four Nations thing, something that we haven't seen before. But I would say this has been, the most unique week of sports that I remember in a long time. We've had breaks in the action before,
right,
but this week specifically, it really has made you, kind of scramble a little bit,
Yeah, for sure, dude. And I mean, which, it does let you focus on the Four Nations tournament, focus maybe on some PGA, which is dope, dude, because, first time in a while we're seeing international level of play. USA is looking great. Going to be cool to see, as the matchups now come down to Boston for tomorrow, how that kind of plays out. I mean, the amount of talent you're seeing on the ice is really tremendous, dude. I mean, it's pretty fucking awesome, honestly.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
The speed, the one-touch passes, the physicality.
The two-line passes.
Dude. The stretch passes, Brian. The goaltenders. The coaching, dude.
I mean, the camaraderie.
It's so funny because, watching the game last night, Tortorella is one of the assistant coaches for USA. Mm-hmm. And it's mad funny because I guess him and Mike Sullivan, have a good rapport.
Okay.
So, I mean, the way, Sullivan and some of the broadcasters were talking about how Sullivan was talking about Tortorella, it's just great because they talk about being the old, wise gentleman in the National Hockey League. And they go, well, the public perception of Tortorella maybe a little bit differently, but I'm telling you, he's a great level-headed guy, because obviously, you look at the media, all you see is cursing and yelling, calling people out and stuff like that. But it's definitely cool to see, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot to get to, but let's start with the comments here. Michael Butka with breaking news.
That's right, breaking news, dude, from Michael Butka. Okay, he's happy to announce that his feud with the other Michael, Theophil, is officially over, dude. And he says, huge shout out to Michael and everyone else, dude.
Michael. So everybody was waiting with bated breath, Tony, on that
one. Yeah, for sure. And obviously now, since he did the right thing, he says, he's, let's see, what do we ask? Hold on, stand by. Let me know if you can see my comments. This is to Michael in the live chat, buddy. And then he wants to know if the perm ban is lifted from the studio.
I guess we have to call Mohegan, right? They're the ones that started
it. Dude. The perm ban. We'll see. Obviously, that's up to Michael Theophil, We also have
Tribe.
Of course, yes, and the Tribe, dude. The Tribe. Listen, go against the Tribe, okay, dude? And then we have Josh B. also in the house, stoked for the Friday Happy Valentine's Day, Brian.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day.
He says, what's up, family? Buckta has seen the light like Rapunzel on the boat with Flynn.
Movie?
Yes, dude. Damn it, dude. Rapunzel is, I don't know, it's escaping me right now. The hair... The really long blonde hair. It doesn't matter.
Jim Carrey?
Not Jim Carrey, dude. The world has shifted, Josh B. Obviously, big into the Disney movies, the daughters and like that, dude. Barnes, he says, Michael, you should be a fortune teller, dude.
Now, do you think it's because I told him, he's got to let it go and then everything will be okay? You think that's why he said that?
Maybe, yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he says that...
55 an hour?
55 an hour.
That's a good chunk of change,
telling,
no?
dude. I mean, you're gonna just tell a lot of fortunes though. You have to
Yeah.
for a whole hour of predictions, dude. It's a lot, dude. And then now he's back to his old ways, putting up the Incredicoaster, dude. Tony, he says TGIFF, dude.
Hey, that's a new one, kind of.
Yeah, I guess so. I would imagine as Buckton does like to drop the F-bomb, that's probably what that first F is, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And then we're all caught up on the comments, dude.
So one thing I wanted to mention, and there's really nothing else, related to this little
There's nothing
fight here. But you weren't here yesterday, obviously. What were your thoughts on the Bregman deal?
I mean, I guess it's good. Right? I mean, I would think if I'm the Red Sox, I'm a Red Sox fan, I guess I'm good. I mean, I know it should be interesting where exactly they put him. I know he can play second.
No, that's the plan.
Right? That is the plan?
Surprised me. He does not feel to me like a second baseman.
I know. It is going to be an interesting adjustment, I suppose. But listen, I think for a team like the Red Sox who, last year I think surprised some in terms of the level of play. A lot of youthful talent there that I think kind of stepped up and could continue to step up this year. So they may be bringing someone like Bregman, especially in the middle of the infield here, who's obviously been playing in big games, has a career in the MLB that's been, relatively good. You can't really knock him, I suppose. So I would say it's good, dude. Why? What did you think?
Well, I think for the short term it is, but it's like, and they did defer, I guess, what would be $30 million of the deal. So technically, present day, 3 for $90, the opt out after the first. So I'm almost thinking like in their head, they're hoping he has some like big season and then he just opts out and that's it, and it's just a 1-year deal. But it's just because, and I think a lot of people are going by, you look at it, I think career at Fenway Park, he's a 375 hitter. But I just wonder, well, how does that correlate with the regression that we've seen at the plate the last couple of years? So it's I guess it's just there isn't that much risk, but if he doesn't play well and then you have 2 more years at $80 million, I mean that's going to be a thorn in their side because they haven't spent money recently, and now they finally do, and if it backfires, then that could be a problem.
No, I agree with that, but I don't know. I feel like with that roster, I mean, I would imagine that there will be an uptick of production at the plate. And again, I think just new scenery, and like you said, he does typically play well at Fenway, which is good. So, I mean, I think it'll end up working out, honestly, for the Red Sox. I mean, yeah, I do think so. But, I mean, and not for nothing. I mean, like you said, the deferred money, 3 for $90, I mean, that's not outrageous. Like you said, yes, Boston really hasn't been. They've been reluctant to spend a lot of money in the past few seasons. But, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe this is like kind of maybe a step for them to start spending more money, retool their roster. Because I feel like not for nothing. I mean, I'm trying to remember. I mean, I don't think last season, like a lot of their games that they won, I feel like a lot of it came from their bats.
Yeah, no, the pitching was terrible. Obviously, they got, Bueller and Garrett Crochet this year, so they're expecting it to be better. One thing that I was surprised about, and I thought about this yesterday, and I looked it up because I had a feeling like he wasn't really good defensively, but we know Bregman is good defensively.
Right.
Devers led the league at third base in errors, but yet they don't want to move him. I would have thought it would have made sense to put him at DH and then put Bregman at third, but I guess just trying to get as many good bats in the lineup. But just like I said, I think that's just going to be weird. I can't even like picture Bregman at second turning a double play, covering a cutoff throw. You know what I mean? It's just a very weird like vision.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to see who. Oh, Rafael is their second baseman. Is that correct?
Well, he could play outfield too, so they're probably going to put
throw
him
in the
center.
outfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess maybe maybe there'll be some adjustment period here for him, for Bregman specifically. But I mean, have you looked up how often has he played second base?
It's like not even 20 games. So maybe not even 15. Honestly, it could have been like 12 or something.
Yeah, that's tough. And I guess we got Carlton in here actually, and he says as a Red Sox fan, he is conflicted. I mean, I don't know. Again, if I'm a Red Sox fan, I know maybe you're thinking that you're not putting the money in the right spot. But I mean, really, what were your other options? I mean, you really, other than, bringing in Walker Buehler, which I think was a great decision by them.
They made good pitching moves.
They did. But in terms of another bat, I mean, like, what else were they, what else are you looking at, At least that could be something substantial to add to this lineup. It should be, I suppose, interesting how it pans out. But I don't know. I would think he has a good season with Boston.
So, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, obviously he's a pull hitter, so everybody thinks about, him putting it over the monster.
The monster,
of course.
yep.
I do see we do have a couple more here.
Oh, yes, we do have a couple more here. Kev dude, let's
Dude.
go. We want the smoke. Feel a little better today.
Yeah, was in the Discord yesterday, was saying under the weather, went to the doctor.
Really?
All these, variants of viruses going around.
Yeah, dog. People
off of
are
work today.
Yeah, people at Sacred Heart too are dropping like flies. Some of my students still sick. GAs, professors not showing up, dude. Not good. Not good. Michael Theophilus says, "Love is in the air. Bukta and I are friends again. Nice haircut, Barnes. Best sports show out there."
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, dude.
I'm surprised you didn't make your call, Tony.
For the hair?
The militarian?
I mean, you do it once. I'm trying to harp on it, dude.
Wait,
Militarian.
we don't
dude.
harp on things over here. Also, this involved the Red Sox as in terms of losing a player. What did you think of Pivetta, 4 years, 55 to the Padres?
I mean, 4 years, 55, I guess for the Padres, that's good, I suppose. I don't know, man. I feel like Nick Pivetta, for me, was a little bit, up and down sort of deal. I never really knew what kind of Pivetta you'd be getting, out there. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess, again, move for the Padres is good. Red Sox at the Milwaukee, I think that's fine, dude. Right?
But it's interesting. I mean, I know
Why? What do you think?
And a lot of this was with Philly, but, I mean, his career RA is 4.76. Last year, you look at the numbers though, 4.14 ERA despite a 6-12 record, and he did strike out 172 over 145. So he's getting the strikeouts, but I guess it's in that salary is low. But you know what it is? I just have and this is birthday, by the way. So I guess happy birthday to Nick Pivetta.
Oh wow, look at that,
32 years young.
Way.
So. You know what it is? I guess he doesn't strike me as a guy you would start in the playoffs. But then again, I mean, how many pitchers that you're not even paying $15 million a season would you? So I guess as a depth, it's a longer contract. That's all.
Yeah, and I guess. I mean, it looks like he had 28 home runs last year, too, which,
I mean, you saw the Mets go to town with him when he was on Philly?
A few times, yeah. I know this was probably a little while ago now, but, regardless, I mean, yeah, again, I mean, it's not, especially with, Philly's rotation, I mean, like you said, it's not someone you come in where you're threatened by him. You're not going to see him, have a huge start in the playoffs. But again, I guess for the Padres, it'll add some depth to their pitching rotation and stuff. But again, and where Boston is reallocating funds and obviously bringing other pitchers this year, I don't think they really needed him, dude.
No, they didn't need him, and the Padres really haven't done anything this offseason. So I guess just they're hoping for the depth.
Yeah.
And speaking of depth, the Yankees have been hoping, all offseason and spring training long here that teams are going to be looking for depth, trading for Stroman. He went to the official report day, but doesn't have to show up for another week, so he hasn't been to the last couple workouts. Also, there was something out there that he said that he'll only be a starter. So this thing is getting pretty dramatic. And it's just I guess it's, a team gets an injury, they'll pull the trigger, but I'm sure they're probably turned off by the antics.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. I mean, you know how I feel about him. The antics is definitely something that is, I suppose, deterring for a team. But also it's how, great of a pitcher really is he? What were his numbers like last season? I think they were okay.
Yeah, okay, but if you go into the second half, I want to take a guess. His second half ERA must have been 6.
Right.
Honestly, he almost was an all-star the first half.
Right, I remember them talking about
4.13 ERA.
Let's look at the splits here.
And it's February 22nd is actually when he has to be on the field. But when you go to the splits, first half, second half from last year, if this thing ever loads.
Second half, he had
a
5.98.
I told you. And then you look at it month by month, Tony. The earned run average. He had a 3.69 in April, 1.67 in May, and then batting practice the rest of the season. 5.13, 5.50, 4.56, .80.
I mean, not for nothing, it was, similar garbage with the Mets too. I mean, he's not a pitcher that can, it seems like, go the full length of the season or remain consistent for the full season. And again, I mean, I don't know, man. We know what he said. I know the Mets organization was in a tough area in terms of dealing with players and stuff like that, but he definitely didn't have a great attitude. That's for sure, dude.
And even if you take it a step further, career first, second half, it's interesting. So I guess it hasn't, even though I guess that happened with the Mets, maybe this has been a recent trend, but actually for his career, his ERA is still lower in the second half, 3.77 versus 3.66.
Oh.
But I mean, do you think somebody eventually trades for him just because, pitching is scarce around the league and we're bound to have, some injury surprises like we saw with like Steven Strider out of nowhere last year, something like that?
Spencer Strider?
Yes. It's been a while since I've talked about it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. Again, like we talk about, good pitching, hard to come by. Like you said, to add depth. But again, if he's not willing to work with a team, I only want to be a starter, I don't want to be out of the bullpen, then no, dude.
Yeah.
Then no. Like you gotta understand your situation, understand, what other teams' needs are, and then work accordingly. If you're not able to work with an organization to make sure they get the best out of you, and how about you get the best out of yourself, then take a fucking walk, pal.
You're obviously pissed, basically.
I mean, listen, he did not end well with the Mets,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even his level of play or anything. It was, also just the things he said about the organization. And again, he's like another player who goes to Twitter and complains about shit. And it's like, how about you act professional,
Yeah.
This is your job, not for nothing, dude. Like you're supposed to be a professional ball player. I understand if you have, like any other person at their job, would have issues with management, with the higher ups, with the direction in which the company, or in this case, the team is going. You handle it from within, you don't air out your dirty laundry on Twitter. And not for nothing, he was also one of those, like he would also be interacting with, fans or haters on Twitter, making big spectacles of himself. And then you go out there and you don't even pitch well. So it's like, yeah, dude, it's like, what? Like, why would I want you?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just a precarious situation.
Very precarious, Brian.
Just, supposedly they haven't added anybody because they want to get rid of his salary, but it's like nobody wants him. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And it seems like they're kind of doing that with LeMahieu and Stroman. So, gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. But I'm not gonna let that detract from the fact that I'm really excited for the season. I think the Yankees have a great team, and I can't wait to see the first batch of games 1 week from today. So that'll be exciting. Oh, and one other thing I happen to think about: what was your thoughts on the Mets? Publicly saying no more. Oh my God, this year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it is tough. I heard what you said about it yesterday. And I understand you're gimmicky, whatever. You don't like the Mets. I get it, dude. But in reality, Jose Iglesias, like, oh my God, the song aside, that guy had a tremendous year for the Mets. Had some tremendous clutch hitting, was solid defensively, and was a huge clubhouse guy. And not for nothing. Yeah, I mean, it kind of was cool to, like, I've never seen a ball game and then the player perform, has a performance after the game. So I don't know. I think for a clubhouse vibe and culture, I mean, he was the right guy to have around. What is he, turning 33? 32? 35?
Yeah.
To try and bet that he'll have another year like he did last season, when, to be honest, that type of season like that for him hasn't come around very often. I guess I'm not surprised. It is tough to see him go, I suppose, but I mean, that is business. It's not just about, a clubhouse culture. You don't keep guys around just because people like them. You keep them around because they also play well, which he did last season. But again, I mean, to try and bet that he'll have, duplicate that season again, I mean, odds are he wouldn't. So almost like, Carlton with Bregman, I'm a little conflicted. But at the end of the day, it's probably the right move.
Yeah, exactly. Getting out ahead of it rather than committing to him again, counting on him again, and then he goes back to what he was before that.
It's tough, dude, because you would think that that guy has earned it,
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like we said, I mean, it's probably not gonna happen. Michael,
Michael's earned it.
Michael's definitely earned it. That guy has earned it, dude.
And it's interesting though that he hasn't got. I mean, I'm sure somebody will sign him.
Yeah.
During spring training, but it's interesting. But I guess that's the common sentiment around the league, that it was kind of a flash in the pan, type of season. So what I wanted to start with first was just a little update from Torrey Pines, a wet Torrey Pines yesterday. It looks like the weather will be clear, the rest of the weekend, which is good. But your clubhouse leader right now, Denny McCarthy, firing a 468. So modest scoring. We do usually see this when they have the Farmers Insurance Open as well as the U.S. Open here at Torrey Pines. So he has a one-shot lead over Seamus Power and Patrick Rodgers, who fired off 69s. And then tied for fourth at 2 under, three-way tie between Davis Thompson, Wyndham Clark, and Scotty Scheffler. And I was watching the end of the Golf Channel coverage yesterday. Scheffler had a birdie putt from, I want to say it was within 6-7 feet, misses it. Otherwise, he would have been tied for second. Nevertheless, he's 2 shots back, lurking. A lot of people expecting him to get back into contention, this week. The rest of the leaderboard here, you had Sahith Theegala shoot even 72, Rory with an even 72, JT 1 over 73, Victor Hovland 1 over 73, Tom Kim 1 over 73, Sanjay Im and Keegan Bradley 2 over 74, and then Ashke Bahatia 3 over 75. Tony Finau, +4, 76. But Max Homa +476 as well. What was with the Max Homa hate there? I mean, I know he just hasn't been playing well recently.
Yeah, dude. Well, I remember too when Riley was here once upon a time. Max Homa was his guy.
Max Homa did?
Max Homa was my guy,
media?
dude. Absolute dog. And it's like I never really, I was like, oh, maybe I could buy it, and then it was like a no.
Yeah.
Nothing.
But I'm glad at least that the weather will be good the rest of the weekend here, because I really feel like the wind, I don't know if you saw any of the highlights, but the wind was like really howling yesterday.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like you said, I mean, hopefully it does clear up. We'll get some better golf. Especially for, I think, Sungjae Im also, I think, is 1 over or 2 over.
2 over.
2 over. I mean, you can definitely tell,
Adam Scott 2 over as well.
It's because of the weather, it absolutely is, which is tough, which is very tough. But nonetheless, dude, hopefully it does clear up. We get some better golf. Yeah, dude. Let's go.
Yeah. So
yeah,
we'll see how this plays out, over the weekend. But I guess wind gusts up to 15 miles an hour today. So kind of, on the higher side, but I guess
dissipating.
Yeah, dissipating for sure. And a high of 60 today, high of 61 tomorrow, high of 64 on Sunday. So, we'll see who's able to prevail here. Probably the only Genesis Invitational that we will ever see at Torrey Pines, with the event, of course, expected to move back to Riviera, next year.
If you could repick your winner, who do you think it'll be after day one?
Scotty.
Really?
I mean, he's there. He's lurking.
No,
Tony, right?
he's lurking, dude. Yeah.
What about you?
Tough
on that putt in 18.
I know,
He's not gonna come
dude.
back to bite one stroke like that.
It could, dude, and we've seen sometimes his demise does come on the green. If I had to pick, I don't know, maybe Wyndham Clark, I guess. Been there before, 2 under right now, tied for fourth. Shot the 70 through the tough weather. So I would say that, dude.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how it plays out. Okay, dude.
Canada,
eh? What's Michael Bucket saying?
He was letting me know that the movie with Rapunzel is called Tangled. And it is a good movie. Yes, it's been a while since I've seen it. He also says The Adventures of Mr. Toad and Archibald is the weirdest Disney movie ever. Haven't seen it. And he questions Disney Monopoly, y'all. I mean, listen, we're big Monopoly people here. But I definitely, for me, the OG Monopoly is always good. And then he says, "Where's Torrey Pines, Barnes?"
He knows this, doesn't he? Know this? Like,
yeah,
come on, Michael. We know what you're doing.
I just think, first day back, he's happy.
He wants to talk about Southern California. Yep. But it's actually pretty cool. I was just gonna say quickly with Monopoly, you mentioned the regular version. Like, I feel like I didn't notice or really put the connection till later on, but that it is after Atlantic City.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it is pretty awesome, dude. AC is a great place, dude.
And I know you're saying original, kind of like the plain cheese pie type of thing. But if you had to pick a special version, like, was there one?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, growing up too, my brother and I, we had Star Wars Monopoly, Pokemon Monopoly. I know Brian probably when you were younger, Pokemon, dude, and Seinfeld Monopoly. So I mean, it's hard to pick one. I guess maybe if I had to pick one, it'd probably be. Oh, God, that's tough, dude. I guess probably the Star Wars one. I guess probably the one I play the most.
Wow.
But it is dope that they have different themed ones, of course, dude. But
And were you somebody like you're making the family stay up all night? Like, we got to finish.
oh yeah, dude. Like it's listen, before we start this, all right, I just want everyone to know we're committed. All right. We're playing this game.
Was there like a order of power, in the Materiello family household with the Monopoly over the years?
It definitely shifted. I mean, especially when you have someone dedicated to be the banker, sometimes there'd be like some
Side deals?
accusations being tossed.
Against you?
Yeah, I mean, it's anyone, Hey, you count the money right? Nope.
Short of me at 10. What's going on? I passed go. I get 200. Oh, man.
so
Nothing
funny.
like post Super Bowl week, Tony.
Yeah.
But if we could go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle. Great hit. Cameron. It's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rink wide. Made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn. Side of the net. Between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pasternak. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
Just some clarification on this. I thought this was just a report, but it was actually an interview with Stroman tight, kind of pacing back and forth, and just simply said, I'm a starter. I won't pitch out of the bullpen.
Ridiculous, dude.
And that you think that's like, what's the word? Something warfare, like when you're
Like
you know what I'm talking about?
guerrilla
Like,
warfare?
no, but there's a thing like you're fighting a war, and even though maybe you're behind, you like damage the land to like, you know what I mean? Even though it's not doing anything for the war, but
Oh, it hurts
Yeah.
your yeah.
what it wasn't or was it?
No, it's
guerrilla?
not guerrilla warfare. I wouldn't even know how to.
But
Google
you know what
that
I'm
thing.
talking
Yeah, no, I
about,
do
though?
know what you're talking about.
It feels like something Josh B would randomly say, like, "Oh, that's what it is."
Yeah.
American history.
American history, dude.
American. But yeah, so that saga, continues. Hopefully, we'll get a resolution soon. No saga last night at the Bell Center, even though the U.S. did start by trailing in their match against Finland last night. A Henry Jokiharju goal there, 7.5 minutes into the first period. So they had some shots, but just weren't able to put anything through. But from that point on, a complete dominant performance, and really most of the damage done in the third period. But they outscored Finland 6-0 en route to a 6-1 victory. And you look at the goals. 3 minutes later, Tkachuk did answer. That is Brady Tkachuk to tie the game at 1. Second period, just before the horn, a little less than 3 minutes left, Matt Boldy comes through to make it 2-1 U.S. And then you had the Tkachuk assault, basically, on Finland here in the third period. Matthew with a power play goal. Jake Gensel sandwiched in literally 11 seconds later. So just firing on all cylinders. And then not even 3 minutes after that, Brady Tkachuk gets his second of the game. And then 11-13 left in the third. Matthew Tkachuk gets his second in the game. So the combination of the Tkachuk brothers was good for 4 goals and an assist. And it's what you expect, but boy, was this a dominant performance, Tony.
Yeah, dude, this was awesome. And I know, you mentioned USA going down 1 early. That goal was a little tough. Jokiharju.
What team is he on?
Dude.
He's a defenseman.
He is a defenseman.
He
young.
is on
No,
the...
don't say Blues? No. What is he on?
Let me just actually make sure, because it came up with Okay, he's on the Sabres.
Buffalo. Okay,
Yes.
dude. I knew it was something blue, and I think maybe it was like his fourth goal all year or something,
Yeah.
which is pretty wild. And they had some crazy stat about how in the past, like how often Finland, or no, it was how many goals together defensemen have in the NHL from Finland. I think it's something like 10 or something like that.
In the league this year.
In the league this year, all of their defensemen combined. So obviously, Finland does come out with, trying to win with defense. But obviously, I mean, in this game, it was too much to defend, honestly. They were overpowered by USA. And I know, like I said, they were down 1-0 early, but you mentioned it, Brian. I mean, some of the shifts from the United States here were dominant. Austin Matthews, amongst many others, hitting the post, seemingly it could have been,
Yes,
3-1
yes.
after the first period,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think especially in times like this, it's USA's first game together. You do kind of have to take it to some type of a, account of them getting used to playing together. As we even saw with Canada, there's so much talent on the ice. A lot of these guys, as hockey is very much a chemistry sport, have to understand, how to play with each other because they've never played together before, ever. So again, I don't think it was ever really in question, even when they were down 1. And that one goal, from Henry over there, it was deflected, I think, in front underneath Hellebuck's shoulder or elbow, whatever, slipped through. But USA just, like you said, kind of dominated. Shots on goal were crazy. That line, the Tkachuk brothers, and then Jack Eichel to be in the middle there. I mean, that is just absolutely ridiculous. And you saw, a lot of, Jack Hughes was just absolutely flying around as well. JT Miller was getting nice and physical. I don't know, maybe second whistle of the game, we're getting into fights already, So it was great to see that. And obviously, the defensemen were solid for America. And I think that, honestly, this is really, which not for nothing, Canada with the OT win, won't necessarily, they're not guaranteed to make the finals yet. So it should be pretty interesting to see, obviously what that final looks like. But if it is Canada versus America, I mean, what a matchup is it going to be here? So I don't know. I think it was great to see. I know it's kind of like chalk here, but it is really cool to see international hockey play at this level. I'm actually really surprised at how fast the play is and how physical it is, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was evident from the Canadian game the other night. Everybody's going all out. Everybody's fired up.
Yeah, dude.
And really, what's better than that?
Nothing. We were kind of sitting here all week in question. Oh, a lot of these guys mid-season push for the playoffs, care about the NHL. They're just as prideful to be playing for their country right now. And they want it. Everybody wants it, dude. No one is backing down, which is great. It does make for some great hockey, and it should be interesting to see even, the consolation game, if there is one, of Finland and Sweden. Even that is going to be great too.
I don't think there is one. Did you see that there is a consolation?
I would imagine so. They got to play, right? They're still going to, no? They go from round robin just to the championship?
That's what it looks like, yeah. 8:00. Yep. There's not. They would have the game listed if there was.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That kind of is stupid, I guess.
If you want to stay in it, you got to win it.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely right, dude.
And also, round robin, we are still
round robin.
in Canada this weekend. They'll just move to Boston next week for the last round robin game in the championship.
Oh.
So obviously, tomorrow that is going to be a rowdy crowd for the U.S.-Canada game. I think things are going to get crazy. Maybe some fights or no?
Yeah,
is there fights in
dude.
international competition or not really?
It's interesting because Jay was texting me a little about it because, normally in international play, like other leagues have a bigger ice rink. Like KHL. I'm not actually entirely sure about like the OHL and stuff, but normally, like when you play hockey in the Olympics, the rink is bigger, if I'm not mistaken. Which induces more of a, I guess you can say, fundamental style of hockey where it is less physical because everyone has more space, to protect. So there really isn't, I guess, that much fighting you would see in the Olympics or international play. But listen, I wouldn't put it past anyone here. Again, the stakes are high. Teams are being physical. No, I wouldn't be surprised, I guess.
Yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see, how those games go. But I think, yeah, it's going to be outstanding. And like you were alluding to, it's not a free pass for Canada, especially, if the U.S. beats them, of course. But then on top of that, if Sweden beats Finland, then we really might be talking about something.
Which would be kind of wild, to be honest. But, not for nothing, dude. I think, I think it would be better for the tournament if it was U.S. Canada.
But were you surprised at the close nature of the Sweden-Canada game?
Yeah, I think Sweden was definitely a little underestimated. I think Canada, like we saw maybe with the first couple shifts of the U.S. team here, they did kind of struggle to get like some momentum going for themselves, And again, like I was saying, it's just the amount of talent on the ice. Sometimes it takes a little while for people to play well together. It's not just about having McDavid skate as fast as possible, trying to find open man. That's what Austin Matthews was trying to do even at the beginning of the U.S. game. You have to, use the guys around you. There's so much talent on the ice. You don't want anyone really hogging the puck. It's not something you should be doing here. This isn't like McDavid on Edmonton where he has one or two guys. He has an entire roster, defensemen included, that could help him facilitate goal scoring. And I think that was evident in, I want to say it was McKinnon's goal for Canada later in that game, or maybe in the third period. I don't think it was the game winner. Michael Bunt did. Who had the game winner? Mitch Marner had the game winner.
Mitch Marner, yes.
Had the game winner. So it must have been before that. Tremendous goal. It was, of course, it's the McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid line. And I don't know if you saw that goal, but it was literally McDavid creating time and space, the pass to Crosby, and then the no-look backhanded pass to McKinnon. And I mean, like that's what you should be seeing typically from a team like that. And I think that is what you'll get since they've had a game under their belt. Obviously, playing U.S. is going to be huge. So yes, I was a little surprised, but I would think from here on out that Canada does play a little bit more to their strengths as a team. But like we said, though, goaltending could be a little bit of an issue for them, especially with Hellebuck, Ottinger in net for U.S.
And we were talking about this in the Discord yesterday. Do you think they just ride Hellebuck the whole time?
Probably, right?
I think he's a lot better than the other guys, honestly. Especially Swayman's not playing well this year.
Swayman's had a down year for sure. Right. Ottinger's been good. But yeah, Connor Hellebuck, he's favorite for the Vezina Trophy yet again. So yeah, how do you not? I don't know. Sometimes with these international teams and these tournaments that are one-off things, coaches do be like, all right, Ottinger, I'll give you the start here, get a nice cap under your belt sort of deal. Have the experience of being a starter in a national game. I don't know his history in starting for international play like that, at least for playing for America. But in any case, yeah, I would think if I'm the coach, I'm going Hellebuck all the way unless, anything bad happens.
But it does seem like you're like I'm trying to get I think you said 60-40 the other day. Now after seeing this, any difference with like your chances of like, or even just for the game tomorrow? For the U.S. to win. Do you see it still that way?
Maybe now it's 50-50.
Okay.
But still, like I said, I think Canada's going to come out with a little bit of a different strategy. I think they were taken aback by Sweden being so good. So, yeah, I would think they come out firing as a better team, to be honest, against U.S., rising to that occasion. I personally think that their roster of forwards and defensemen are better. It's hard to get past Cale Makar and the McDavids and the McKinnons and the Crosby, especially Sidney Crosby. Not for nothing, he probably has. I want to say he's the most experienced international player around there, right?
You would think, even with that big gap in international competition.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. So he knows what it takes to win for international play. He knows what it takes to rile up a team. So we'll see. I think it does come down to goaltending as well. Which is why I think now it's maybe 50-50, but I think time will tell. But it definitely bodes for some great hockey.
Yeah, and obviously, you're of course hoping that the U.S. pulls it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, because it just seems, I don't know. It seems like you almost want Canada in a way.
Why? Why would you say that? Why does it seem? Why do you think it seems that way?
Maybe only because it's like one of those things where the talent-wise, like they're supposed to. I don't know. That just the feel I was getting. Because when we talked about this originally, you're like U.S. is good, but Canada, boy, like you know what I mean, like in terms of the talent.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because I'm thinking of all the Rangers that are on the U.S. team, and I'm obviously not happy with the way they've been playing for the Rangers, specifically, but. But still, I mean, I still think in terms of forwards, I mean, I think Canada has more firepower. It should be interesting. I really didn't expect the U.S. to come out and play as of a physical game as they did last night. Again, I mean, you're seeing, speaking of the Rangers here, JT Miller, for example, who I guess is the one outlier on the Rangers roster that has been playing physical, forechecking well enough, creating opportunities offensively for the team here. That's translating well onto the ice. I guess maybe I also forgot how physical the Kachuk brothers could be and stuff like that. But still, I mean, you look at the rosters, and I mean, you can't sit here and knock Canada, Again, I mean, Austin Matthews is part of an organization who's been known to blow it in big spots, okay? Dylan Larkin, love him, captain, Red Wings, great guy, but, hasn't really won much around the NHL. And not for nothing, I mean, the defenseman, I know Adam Fox is great. Noah Hannafin I'm a fan of, but he's young. You never know. Charlie McAvoy, I mean, kind of been disappointing, I suppose. Jacob Slavin, I suppose, is good. But, again, I really do think that I'm not sitting here trying to root for Canada or anything. But it's just like, I think they're going to play better. They played down to Sweden, in my opinion. And not for nothing, they ended up still winning, So you do got to give them their props there. And I mean, again, I mean, they have so much, I feel like more experience, Brad Marchand's been someone around forever. Sam Reinhart, Mark Stone, obviously McDavid, the talent, Marner, the game winner. I mean, they got a great roster, and like I said too the other day too, the addition of Drew Doughty, someone who's barely played this season, I think if at all, logging 19 minutes against the Swedes, and he's only going to get better the more he plays. Cale Makar, Josh Morrissey, I know Shea Theodore got hurt, so that's going to be a tough blow. But not for nothing, like what was their big issue? Probably Jordan Binnington, their goaltender. He's kind of had not a great season. And, I think Sweden coming in here, who, again, may or may not be better than Finland. But, obviously they have talent on the team. And like I said, I just think that they were taken aback with how hard they came out firing. And not for nothing, Canada went up 2-0. I think they put their foot off the pedal a little bit in that first period.
Which is surprising.
I really think they thought Sweden would roll over and kind of die. But they didn't. So, I mean, and I don't think Canada will make that mistake twice. Not for nothing, there was a few cutaways to Sidney Crosby, and he was MFing somebody, yelling at someone else. They were not happy with some of the shifts they were putting out on the ice. So you better bet your bottom dollar, Brian, that practice next couple of days, they're going to be, ironing out those kinks,
Yeah. I'm telling you, the U.S. is winning tomorrow. Guaranteeing it. Obviously, I know we'll have our predictions, but I'm just saying. I also guarantee. Looks like we got some good comments.
We have some good comments.
Outstanding comments.
Outstanding comments. Yes, dude. Bernie in the house, dude.
Bernie.
Morning, boys. Happy Friday. Yes, Danny. Happy Friday, dude. Then we have
happy spring training.
Happy spring training.
We know he's jacked up.
He definitely is jacked up. Yes, dude. The Mets onesie and the baby. We know the deal.
The Yankees onesie.
And then we also have Donna Barnaby coming in. Greetings from North Carolina on our way to Chapel Hill,
yes.
Dude.
Good morning.
Good morning, dude.
Great to have my mom and dad with us. And actually, my dad in the group chat just texted a picture. I guess there's a place there called Nantucket Grill.
Ooh.
And it says, welcomes a fellow Nantucketer, Bill Belichick. So there's like this sign that you can see. The banner, Tony.
Dude, oh my God, that's so funny. Good old Bill, huh?
Chapel Bill.
Speaking of Bill Belichick, we got Riley Souza here, big fan of Bill. He says the Sox are back, couple down years that nobody in the AL East could take advantage of, and now the Sox are back.
Take it easy, Mr. Souza. Take
Ooh.
it easy.
Riley, I believe, has been someone who's caught the bug, and I believe has been out the past couple days.
No ice.
No ice, dude. So he's definitely been home. obviously has the time now, tuning in,
But, I mean,
I hope you feel better,
Bregman,
though.
questionable fit at second. I mean, I know Bueller looked good down the stretch last year, but was inconsistent in the regular season. Almost like the playoffs, he kind of turned it on.
Yeah.
Crochet with the injuries. So, I mean, right?
I mean, listen. No, like you said. I mean, also Bueller with the injuries. You could have those two guys out
Bregman
for a
with the
significant
declining
time.
performance,
You never know,
it's not all
dude.
about Roman Anthony.
Exactly,
okay?
dude. And maybe he's forging the medicals. It's seen to happen before, dude. But no, I mean, obviously a lot rides on your roster staying healthy. I mean, not for nothing, right? Last year they had Trevor Story out for the entire year,
And
dude.
it's like, what are the chances that he actually comes back and actually plays well?
So there are a lot of.
It's not all hunky dory.
It's not. It's not that they're back. Again, if they come in healthy, if Bueller gives you a full season, obviously that'd be great. If you make it to the playoffs, I mean, not for nothing, you've seen what Bueller did last season, like you said, Brian. If he just comes in healthy for the playoffs, you could put him in any role, bullpen, starter, closer.
I think,
like
the state of their rotation, they need him to be a starter.
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
Then you speak of closer. I mean, I think I know, firsthand, having a Aroldis Chapman potentially as the closer might not be the best idea.
Might not be. I think it's wow, dude. And he says norovirus, I guess is what he has. Roman Anthony, he says, dude, Jaren Duran is a star.
I do agree with Durant.
Yeah, Durant is
a
good.
star.
Durant is good.
And obviously we know how good what's his name? Why am I blanking on this? Well, he's not a prospect, but Devers obviously is
Raphael.
really good,
Yeah, Devers is
not
great,
at fielding
obviously.
though. See, I'm kind of curious what he thinks about that. Should Devers go to DH?
Yeah, I didn't know
they're gonna
that,
put
dude.
Bregman at second, but it's just like Bregman's a good fielding third baseman. I don't know. It just I don't know about that.
Who is there? Oh, Yoshida was their DH last year predominantly.
But he could play outfield.
He can play outfield, and he's
Yeah.
pretty fast, I think. So it should be interesting. Vaughn Grissom on the roster as well. That's interesting. I guess they have some guys they can move around, I suppose. But I guess time will tell. I mean, the bullpen.
Because who else is in line to be a who else would close, or you think it's definitely Chapman?
Definitely not going to be
Weissert.
Weissert or Whitlock or
they have
Hendricks maybe, but
yeah.
how reliable
And
is that
isn't
guy?
Hendricks is coming back from
Tommy John, I
so
think,
imagine
right?
He's going to miss the first part of the season.
Yeah, I don't know what any news on him is. Preparing 2025 season, locked in, excited to get after it. I want to make sure I come in with my best foot forward, he says. I guess he is in competition for the closer here.
So they'll probably go between him and Chapman, two older, inconsistent performing veterans.
Yeah, I mean, you're banking on a lot here.
Yeah.
And again, the rotation, I mean, I like Cutter Crawford. We've seen some success out of him.
Crochet has great ability. It was just weird when they limited
At the
him and
end,
stuff,
yeah,
and
dude.
I don't know.
And then, I don't know, Houck is all right, I
Bayo
guess.
sucks.
Bro-
Houck pitched well last year.
Houck did pitch well, but yeah, Brian Bayo, I mean, not for nothing. I feel like he was one of your top prospects 2 seasons ago. You're working with Pedro in the offseason, and then there's a, no, dude. And Giolito, I mean,
No.
I don't know about his stat. I mean, he was good with the White Sox like 5 years ago, I
Right,
guess,
right.
Right? Like, I don't know, dude. But, I mean, I guess time will tell. But obviously, Riley says Devers should go to DH.
But then he also says the
Rivalry
rivalry
is
is back. Good for baseball. Maybe postseason matchup. I mean, how about get to the postseason first? Then maybe there'll be a rivalry, right?
Yeah, dude. Ernie in here says 4th in the division.
Earn it. I mean, because you would figure
dude.
Baltimore, but then I guess he's alluding to the Blue Jays, because Tampa, I feel like is kind of the cover is a
Trash.
little bare there.
Yeah,
now, you know?
dude. I feel like this is going to be a huge year for Vladdy with Toronto for sure. I don't know. Orioles a little sour, I think. I don't know, man.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, dude, definitely. I mean, I think
Good lineup,
a lot
but-
left to be desired, though, with
Yeah.
that good lineup. Ernie also says, happy Valentine's Day to you studs, baby.
You too, brother.
And he says, oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
dude. We have Nelson in here. Happy Friday, guys. Oh, happy Friday, guys. Good morning,
morning.
dude. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Paul Goldschmidt, and he's laughing at you.
Paul Goldschmidt. What does that have to do with it?
I don't know.
I don't understand that. Like, Paul Goldschmidt, I mean, we're not relying on Paul Goldschmidt to win the MVP here.
I mean, not
it's
for
just-
nothing, though. I think Paul Goldschmidt is good.
We were talking about this in the chat.
like it.
Josh B is calling for 30 and 80 from Goldschmidt.
Josh B.
He didn't have any White Claws.
I was just going to say, make a couple of White Claws, dude. Oh, dude. And then Ernie says Yanks, Orioles, Jays, Sox,
Okay, so
Rays.
it was what I figured.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Orioles and the Jays there. Relax, Riley. Paul Goldschmidt. I mean, and I think it's just one of those things. Like, he is going to be by default. Like, I don't even have high expectations for Paul Goldschmidt, but by default, he's going to be light years ahead of what we've had at first base the last 2 years,
Which is great.
with Rizzo and then Rice after the 3 home run game struggling. So, I feel great. I feel great about the lineup.
Yeah, you should.
Bellinger too. Bellinger is a guy that could have a really big year.
Could.
And I expect him to have a big year.
30 and 80?
Maybe 40 and 90? Not 40, but honestly 30. I think he's a lock for 30.
Yeah, I could see that. I guess.
What does he say?
If you don't think this lineup is nasty, you are just wrong.
Devers
dude.
is really good. Durant is really good. And I mean, who else are we touting? I mean, Rafaela still has to prove himself. I mean, I like him as a player. And then Bregman, like I said, I just feel like right? I mean, hasn't he looked diminished? I mean, it's not just me, Tony, the last couple
Yeah,
weeks.
I think so. But I think, not for nothing. I mean, I think it's just
Will Abreu, please.
his, like, I don't know, just the vibe over there
Casas
with Houston,
sucks.
maybe, dude. He says Casas, Will Abreu,
Costas is like
dude.
Bob Costas, okay?
And how about Michael Buckner going at Riley? Take it easy, little Riley.
Little Riley.
Little
Wow.
Riley. Oh, boy.
But everybody, like, I mean, I guess his numbers I looked up are pretty good. But everybody, I don't know if BK said anything about this at the network, Tony, but
Okay.
but like everybody's going nuts for Roman Anthony. Everyone's saying like, oh, him and the other prospect who I just had pulled up, is it Dominguez or it's not Dominguez, but are going nuts. I mean, are you familiar with him at all?
No, not really. Great name though, Roman Anthony here.
Outfielder.
Classic
Good year
from
last year. I think he
Florida.
hit 290, like 20 home runs or something.
He had
Christian Campbell is the second prospect.
Christian Campbell. Looks like he had 18 home runs, 65 RBIs between AAA and AA last
hit what?
year. 291,
Okay.
slugging 498 with an 894 OPS. So yeah, I mean, I guess for someone like him, I mean, yeah, those are good numbers. Only 20 years old here.
But obviously, I mean, we're hoping for the big bust.
Yes, I suppose you are hoping for the big bust.
because I'm telling you, people are hyping like, oh, the Red Sox, watch out, because of Campbell and Anthony.
I mean, is he going to get time this year? I mean, it's 20 years old. I mean, I
think
don't...
he's played 30 against AAA, so I would imagine, they would have him start in AAA, and then if they need somebody come, I don't know, June, maybe he gets the call. And I'm sure there's some manipulation there with the service time, given his young age, too. So.
Oh yeah, dude.
We'll see. But it's funny how we got in such an in-depth baseball conversation.
Yeah, dude. Michael
Hockey
Buckner coming in here, clapping at Riley, get to the postseason, then come and chat with us. Riley coming back says, win a title, bud.
Well, I mean, we are. So, what's up?
Hope so.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
hope so.
see if maybe there's a third team in the mix. Let's say something about it.
I mean, a third place team. Anyhow, we got. But anyway, we do have 2 games tomorrow in the Four Nations, Tony. So I think it would be only appropriate if we could do a Friday edition of the Frozen Frenzy, and this Frozen Frenzy is brought to you by the Hirsch Law Firm.
You know the
thought I was
deal,
gonna forget.
dude. Absolutely not. We're professionals here. Professionals. Unlike Riley Souza, dude. Whoa. I'm just kidding, dude. All right, let's go. All right, it's Friday. We're doing Saturday here. We're starting early and often. And then, honestly, a pretty significant gap. I don't know how I feel about it, but I guess it gives you time to get your shit together on this sweet little Saturday. 1 p.m., dude. You're starting off. We're still in Montreal, like we said. Finland, Sweden here facing off. Should be pretty interesting to see, honestly, like the crowd. I mean, I know both nations have teams or fans showing up, but we're in Montreal. No one's the home squad here. Over under slated at 5.5. The money line is plus 155 in favor of the Finns here. So they're the tight dogs, dude, coming in here. And honestly, I mean, we know why. Sweden playing great hockey. What do you think's going to happen here?
Yeah, looking at this, I mean, just based on what I saw last night, I mean, pretty tough for me to go with Finland here. I like Sweden with the -185. I think closer game than last night. I'm going to say an under for a change. We haven't had one of those yet. But give me Sweden winning this one by the score of 3-1. So that'd be Sweden and the under.
I like that call, to be honest, for Sweden. I don't know about the under, though. I think this is still going to go for the over. Not to, I guess, knock Gustafsson or Saros, dude. Even though Saros did have a great game. He's having a tough year, though. Nashville having a tough year. Regardless here, I think Sweden honestly goes off, Obviously, with Eriksson Ek, Adrian Kemp being the two goal scorers there. And Jonas Brodin, defenseman for when they played Canada. But I think Pettersson, William Nylander as well, I think could go off, honestly. Maybe even a Mika Zibanejad goal, probably not, though. Regardless, I think Sweden puts up a sweet little 5 spot against Finland. Maybe they put up 2. I would say give me Swedes and the over. 5-2, your final score there. Moving on to the primetime 8 p.m., dude. A 7-hour gap between puck drops here. U.S. taking on Canada. We know the deal, dude. We know the rosters. We know the talent, the speed, the physicality, the coaching, dude. USA coming here at -110. So is Canada, by the way. Over-under is 6.5. USA's on the spread +1.5, which is pretty interesting. Tightly contested matchups, Brian. How do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, USA!
USA!
USA! I know Tony is Team Canada.
Stop it.
Over here. Michael knows, too. He knows. And I'm
yeah,
sure
where's the
Sharon and Sandy
Bulgarian
got a kick
team?
out of that out there. But I think a tight game, an overtime game. But I'm going to say Austin Matthews finding pay dirt. Probably, let's say, 3 minutes remaining in overtime. The game winner, USA 2-0, Canada 1-1. Maybe on the outside looking in for the final if they have a little trouble in their game next week. We'll see. But give me USA and the over.
What was your final score?
4-3.
Okay.
Wasn't it 6.5?
Yeah.
Oh, so why are you looking at me like?
I was just asking.
Okay,
I got
wanna do the same
Michael's
thing.
distracting me and giving me dirty looks. I didn't hear what you said. Sorry about
that,
the
Michael.
door, the lock isn't locking. By the lock's all fucked up.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I told him. So maybe.
Well, I'm just saying you can't get back in if you close it. I'm just letting you know. That's why I was hoping.
That's why he's showing them.
Fuck. All right, dude. USA versus Canada. All right. My predictions here, I think, will be very tightly contested. Honestly, I think Canada comes out first period, maybe even with a 2-goal lead, Brian. Maybe it's 2-0, maybe it's 3-1, but you know what they say, dude. A 2-goal lead is the worst one in hockey, and we've seen even the Swedes come back against Canada and make it interesting for overtime. All right. I say in this instance, I think USA does the exact same thing. Second period, huge emphasis on the Hughes. Jack Hughes, 2 goals in that second period to tie the game up. Third period, feeling each other out. Hellebuck, huge saves. At the end of the day, give me Dylan Larkin, okay? With the game winner, third period, USA wins 4-3. USA in the over, Brian.
And just like that, that is your Frozen Frenzy presented by the Hirsch Law Firm. And honestly, Tony, I think I coursed, if that's the right word, or coursed you into taking the USA because I.
Oh, coerced.
Coerced.
Yes.
Because I think you were feeling like I was saying you were a traitor to your country.
Listen, I have my own original thoughts, okay, dude, and I am a patriot. All right.
No, but I'm just saying because you're all Canada. But it seems like that dominant win last night, the country loyalty call. I think it's made you rethink things.
Oh, stop it! Listen, I was always gonna pick America. All right, they impressed me last night. Naturally, I do think it's gonna be a bout. Okay, it's gonna be a tough battle for sure, dude. I think Canada knows the matchup. I mean, it's gonna be tough, dude. It is. It's not gonna be an easy one. I don't think.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, come on.
I mean, geez, dude.
Great matchup.
Jeez.
God forbid. You know, like give someone their flowers.
But yeah, so I think that'll be a good one. But if we could go to the world of the National Basketball Association.
LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the three, and the Lakers win the game.
All right. So NBA All-Star Weekend upon us. We did have 5
Thank
games to close out the first half last night. Nothing too crazy, but we'll just run over it real quick here. Warriors 105-98 over the Rockets, so they are now 28-27. Curry leading the way with 27 points as they look to fight to be in playoff position, with the newly acquired Jimmy Butler. And I think as the season progresses here, we're going to see more of a sound Warrior team that we saw prior to him coming over, and he had 19 points, 8 rebounds.
What's your take on Butler?
I don't like what he did, but I just think there is something to being on the Warriors, being with Curry and Kerr. I think the culture will make him a lot better player than we saw on him coming out of Miami. The Pelicans finally get a win here. They're only their 13th of the year. 140 to 133 over the Kings. CJ McCollum, 43 points, 7 rebounds, leading the way in overtime. And this was despite Domantas Sabonis having 22 points and 28 rebounds. And that's Domantas, I believe. I haven't said his first name in a while. I feel like I always say Sabonis.
That sounds about right.
But, so... the Pelicans looking like they're going to be in the lottery, but CJ turning back the clock. It's interesting that nobody wanted to trade for him. I think even earlier in the year, Michael was mentioning him maybe going back to Portland, but nevertheless, that's what we saw there. The Mavericks win again, 118-113 over the Heat, who are spiraling now 3 games under 500. You look at Dallas, who obviously is still going to be without Anthony Davis for a while. Kyrie actually didn't play in this one either. But Dante Exum, the former kind of bust, first round pick out of Australia many years ago, led the way with 27. And they got 18 from Dinwiddie, 15 from Edwards. Max Christie, the former Laker, also had 19 points. So they are now 30-26, and it'll be interesting to see. We expect Kyrie to be fully healthy after the break, what type of team they are. Until Anthony Davis, gets back and they hold their spot in the Western Conference playoffs. A little bit of an upset here as the Timberwolves take out the Thunder, 116-101. Naz Reid, the vet, 27 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists in the win from Minnesota, who improves to 31-25 on the year. Maybe a reason for this loss. Shai had one of his worst games of the year, and he still had 24 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, but missed 15 shots from the floor. Chet Holmgren, 11 points, 12 rebounds for Oklahoma City. And we also saw Anthony Edwards, who struggled as well, 5 of 18, but did have 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. And then the last game of the night, we saw the Clippers take out the Jazz. And that final score was 120 to 116. Jimmy Harden leading the way here, 32 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Clippers go into the All-Star break with a 31-23 record. And this win, was without Kawhi. So I think a pretty good win there. How about Norman Powell had 41 for the Clippers? So that was a big performance there. And then we had the whole thing with Kyle Filipowski, before the draft, the girlfriend, all of that, whitewashing and all this stuff. And turning him against the family. He had probably one of the best games of his career. Remember, they said that she brainwashed him and that he doesn't talk to his family anymore. And that she was his babysitter at one point. We talked about this before the NBA draft. He went to Duke.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we talked about it.
You and I.
Yes. No, I swear to God. We did.
That's fucking wild. She was his babysitter.
Yes. Hey, look it up real quick, Tony. Honestly.
How much older is
I want to say it's only like 5 or 6 years.
Oh my God, dude, that's like Filipowski. Is his wife now?
It might be fiance or girlfriend.
The Wild saga, dude. Caitlin Hutchinson. Wow, dude, he's 7'4". Jesus, dude. The first report, someone being off Filipowski camp, came on Thursday morning. ESPN analyst heard from teams regards to teams talking about the fact that he had questions about his girlfriend being so much older than him. Why was he estranged from his family because of this whole situation? Very, very odd situation. I personally don't understand why it would cause him to drop like this into the second round. Where did it end up being drafted?
It was the first pick in the second round.
Oh, he was the first pick second round, but he did drop because of this.
Yes, he was supposed to be like a top 10, 15 pick.
They were engaged as of April 18th of last year, or even 2 years ago, it looks like. What we know about Caitlin Hutchinson, an Alabama native. There is a little concrete information on who exactly fiance is. Information trying to assert Hutchinson's age is critical here. Will become very apparent at the moment. Facebook post, dude. I guess that's her in the middle right there, huh?
Yeah.
High school graduation, yada, yada, yada. Graduated early, standard, 6 years removed from college. Again, that's not really the issue. We established 20-year dating someone is not odd. Oh, she looks totally different in this photo, dude.
What are you trying to say?
Well, she looks better here than there. Daniel Filipowski weighed in here. I'm Kyle's oldest brother. You all don't have a clue to the extent of the story that has to do with his girlfriend. There's a story that has to be pushed under the table for nearly 2 years now, dude. That's wild. I'm trying to get like what we if the combined accounts, family, whatever. That's pretty fucking wild, dude. Nothing illegal is going on, they're saying, which I guess it's not, but also, like, what the fuck, man? Like, yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Like, both of them, I mean, first of all, he should tell her to fucking kick rocks.
Yeah, it's like very Rodgers-esque, except it seems like it, it has to do with the girlfriend and not, just the family.
I mean, you never go against the family, dude.
Yeah,
like
I know.
that's like rule number one.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't understand his family dynamic at all, I guess, or really much of the situation. But I mean, listen, I've seen it before. Girlfriend's coming to the occasion, all of a sudden, your buddy nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
I know.
Manipulating. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So what I just
fixed it?
really wanted to mention here.
They don't know.
My favorite part of the All-Star Weekend, and I know Tony's probably never watched an All-Star
Favorite part.
Weekend.
That's not true.
Would be the Saturday night. I mean, I've always thought that was pretty good, and especially the 3-point contest. And that has the most amount of participants with 8.
You've envisioned yourself in that contest before?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
dude.
you've seen me out there.
Yeah.
So just giving you like the odds here, favorites to lowest odds, or I guess technically highest odds, but Dame Lillard plus 360. Buddy Hield plus 480, Tyler Hero plus 550, Norman Powell, we mentioned the 42 last night, plus 550, Darius Garland plus 600, Jalen Brunson plus 750, Cam Johnson plus 900, Cade Cunningham plus 1,100, Tony. So what are your thoughts, on the 3-point shootout? And Dame going for 3 in a row.
I was just going to say, I did hear that storyline, so, I mean, why not, dude? Give me Dame.
The short odds with the
Let's
360.
go. Absolutely, dude. Why? What do you got?
I'm going to say
Okay, Cunningham. Underdog.
Jalen Brunson plus 750.
Ooh,
He can do
okay.
it. He's fired up.
He is fired up.
This is his moment, and I think he'll succeed. So let's go. And then
Sleeper?
I believe, Cade at 1,100. I think, right? I mean, that's got to be the best value of the whole thing. I know he has the lowest odds, but he can make it splash from 3. And then the dunk contest, a little UConn flavor here.
Oh, no.
But I believe Mac McClung is going for 3 dunk contests in a row, if I'm not mistaken, even though he plays in the G League. He's minus 220.
How does that work?
I don't know, new rules, right? It didn't always used to be like that.
Is there just like a minimal amount of games you play in the NBA?
No, I mean he's literally just
0.
not playing in the NBA. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
But I understand that. Doesn't the G League have their own All-Star weekend?
Yeah. He won the MVP, I think, last year too.
He should be in the league.
Yeah.
Then put him in the fucking league. What team is he on?
Orlando.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
It's embarrassing.
NBA's stupid,
It
dude.
really is stupid.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This all started because nobody from the league wanted to be in the dunk contest. Really, it's like it was a cool thing. Oh, your first year, let's do it. And then after that, it's like no one else really wants to do it.
They just want fans be in it. Then how about
Right.
that?
So
Yeah,
you got
sure.
McClung at minus 220. Matas Buzelis from the Bulls
Oh.
plus 650.
yeah, that's my winner.
That's the guy. Yeah, it's our
There we
guy.
go.
That's our guy.
Andre
Yeah.
Jackson, former UConn Husky, plus 650, and Stefan Castle, plus 800. So the two Huskies
Castle.
there to finish out. Michael's going with Mastis Buzelis.
Same.
You're going with
Running
same?
it back. Yeah, it's our guy,
I'm going to
fantasy.
say Castle 800 value.
Of course, dude.
Bring it
UConn.
home. Bring it home for Hurley,
Is he
Michael.
going to be in attendance? Is Hurley going to be there? No,
Come
dude.
on. And then they do have this stupid like
Oh, no.
I guess
Skills thing?
no. It's that I don't think they're doing that.
Dribble through the
No, they're not
cones
doing
and then
that but it's it's 4 teams for the All-Star game. I don't know if you saw this.
No, I don't pay attention to this right now.
So it's I think it's so
Is it
stupid,
like-
but it's Team Shaq, Team Chuck, Team Kenny,
no.
Team Candace.
What happened to just like East versus West? Dude?
Oh, well, dude, we have to, switch it around. So just giving you the rosters here. Shaq's team, LeBron, KD, James Harden, Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, Stephen Curry. Kenny Smith has Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Jaren Jackson, Jalen Williams, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, Tyler Hero. Chuck has Jokic, Giannis, Shai, Wembanyama, Siakam, Sagoon, Towns, Mitchell,
Sagoon.
and Young. And then it's okay. I don't know why I don't see Candace's Rising Stars. Oh, so it's only the monogamy of the NBA. And then I guess the Rising Stars winner will be Candace Parker's team. So I don't even know what that team is.
Candace
I don't
Parker.
know. This whole thing is just ridiculous. But I have to say, from looking at that roster, Shaq's team is obviously nasty, but I like
I think Shaq should play.
Chuck's team. I mean, Jokic, Giannis, Gilgeous-Alexander, Wembanyama, Karl Anthony Towns, Sagoon. Yeah, Shai.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Kid Gilchrist.
Oh, Kid Gilchrist.
Um,
But right? I mean, give me Chuck, even though
Yeah.
I'm tied at Barkley.
I like Giannis.
Yeah.
He should win another championship, that guy, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to win it with Doc.
Dude. Probably not, dude. He should go to the Knicks or something then.
Yeah. So, but you're saying Chuck, though. Team Chuck.
Yeah, I guess so. Work ethic. Although, you know what, dude? What fucking Jokic doesn't even fucking care about anything, right, though?
When do we get to go home?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I go to play with my horses.
So you, like, revisiting? Or?
I don't know. It's so tough. I'm going to stick with Giannis. I'll stick
right,
with Giannis
all right.
and Chuck, dude.
Just wanted to make sure.
Chuck, Charles Barkley? I guess. I mean, he seems like a fun guy to hang out with, I guess, right? No?
Chuck?
Charles? Who'd you rather hang out of all those the NBA
I guess
desk
Shaq.
guys? Yeah?
Yeah.
Shaq, I feel like you say one wrong thing, though, will probably fucking hit you. Oh.
So yeah, and then really, other than that, I mean, they don't even have the line out in this game. But UConn's at Seton Hall. Seton Hall 6-18, 1-12 in the Big East. UConn
Upset City?
17-7, 94 in the Big East. I would imagine they're gonna be like 9.5 point favorites, maybe 10. But yeah, I think they throttled them. I think it's like 80-65.
Throttled.
And you had McNeely with the 38 last game. I think he has another 30-plus point performance. But we know the big tests are coming up with St. John's and Marquette again. And it's going to be, pivotal to go 2 for 2 there to really, keep putting yourself up.
That's right.
The leaderboard for the seeding. So we'll have to see. I'm guessing you're saying upset alert.
I mean, no. Seton Hall,
6-18.
fuck Jersey.
Also, Matthew Gabriel is saying, let's go. And then he says, happy Freddie. And then Josh B says, hang with Shaq hands down. So, yeah, I mean, the Four Nations tomorrow will be good. I know Tony will be locked in on the monogamy of the NBA. But I've been dying to ask Tony, how was Captain America? I know the show later, 8 o'clock Binge Buddies, will be about that. But, I mean, anything you could give me, like a little sneak peek on the captain.
A little sneak peek
Michael
on
Piss,
the
I can just
captain,
tell already.
dude. I will say, I think in recent history, let's say, I think Michael stayed up for the most at this movie, to be honest.
Didn't like it, though.
He's obviously. Oh yeah, we had some. There were a couple of fucking dipshits in the theater last night.
Wow, really?
I had to talk to someone.
Yeah, dude.
Flashlight?
I was Captain.
No. And of course, like, first of all, the movie's at 10:30, so it's like us
Boy,
and
10:30,
maybe.
I would have fallen asleep.
There was a lot of people, though.
Yeah, it was. I would say total 15 to 20 people in that theater. And that's another thing. When I got the tickets, we were 2 of maybe 5 people that were already had tickets. So obviously, a lot of people that did end up going to see it. Naturally, big Captain America. It is push for the next phase in Marvel. So it's very important, I think, for the continuation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe here. And obviously, tune in 8 p.m. Binge Buddies. But I will say, for me, I had low expectations. All right, I had very low expectations, and I would say that it definitely met and exceeded a little bit of those expectations. So the movie wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, to be honest. But yeah, the dipshits in the theater, dude, making noises with the fucking dude. Literally, this guy next to Mike for like didn't really stop for a while in the cup holder,
People are so shot.
like with a water bottle.
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy. How did you say it?
How did you say it?
I was like this. Excuse me. Can you stop doing that, please?
What did he say?
Thanks, buddy. And he said, oh, at first he was like, what?
He had the AirPod in?
He had something in his ear, dude. And he was like, oh, what'd you say? I was like, the water bottle. Can you please stop? And he said, oh, yeah, no problem.
Oh man,
Unbelievable.
You never
dude.
know.
Guy next to me was snoring like a fucking cow, dude. Like literally, like out of nowhere, dude. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? And with his wife and kids, the wife thought it was funny, and yeah, I wanted to
Clearly you
fucking
didn't think
crack
it
him,
was funny.
dude. No, it wasn't fucking funny, dude.
So-
Like, what the hell? Wake up!
So I'm guessing it's gonna be a mix.
And they had their fucking shoes off, both of these people.
stunk too.
I didn't smell anything, but what the fuck is this? This isn't your goddamn living room. Put your fucking shoes back on.
The movie theater etiquette.
Fucking Bridgeport is what it is.
And I was gonna say,
What? But the people
But they're right. Yeah,
are
they're
from Bridgeport, dude.
Yeah. I know because I used to go to that movie theater growing up.
It's a great theater, honestly. I
yeah.
love,
Yeah.
everyone's like the people who work there are always very pleasant and nice. So it's, it's nice. It's good.
And then it's just rapid fire news. Besides that, or
Oh, of course, Rapid Fire News. You know the deal. A lot of tidbits out there, and of course the full review coming at you, Captain America.
8 o'clock.
8 p.m.
Manny,
No Manny.
no Manny,
Michael Tony.
and Tony.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
M&T. Bank.
M&T Bank Stadium.
Yep.
Baltimore, Maryland. But
Actually, it's where some of the movie was filmed in Baltimore. How about that, dude?
well, you never know.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And Canada, yeah.
Look at that.
And the DR.
Yeah, so I think that that really does it here. But we've navigated the first post NFL week, I think, pretty well.
Yeah,
and
dude.
we're all anticipating next week, spring training, the daily baseball talk. Obviously, can't wait for that. But we really appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume, the merch at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy Binge Buddies, and we will see you on Monday.
Let's go USA!
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.